Good morning, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle Happy Medium, and in this video, our topic up for discussion today, and of the few questions that a few of the viewers have asked me, we're going to take a look at the colours of the aura, what the colours may mean from my perspective, and give you a little bit more bigger understanding of why colours could be useful in your mediumship or when you're doing psychic work. Me personally, I've seen colours on and off all of the time that I've done my mediumship. More so when I look at particular individuals, or if I'm watching particular mediums standing on a particular rostrum, which is church work to me and you, or just when I have been linked into the spirit world. Colours can mean lots of different things to lots of different people, so please take this as a guide. Don't take it as gospel, because I do believe that everybody sees colours, or the perception of the colours is different for everybody out there. But really, why do we see colours in the auric field? It tends to be that there's either emotional or a physical problem within the auric field, or it can tell me that that particular individual is doing more work within the spiritual realms or on the self to improve their life or move their life forward in some capacity. This can be used in your mediumship or within your psychic work when you're doing readings for people. So say, for example, you see a particular colour and you've got knowledge, or your mind knows what that colour would mean to you. You can then give it off as a connection to an emotional problem. Remember, as mediums and psychics, we're unable to diagnose health-related conditions, but what we can do is look at the emotional self and see how we can help that particular sitter move forward in some capacity there. So let me give you my guide on what particular colours mean when I say auric colours within the auric field. So let's start at the top. So white, for example, for me means that I have somebody who is quite spiritually knowledgeable, or somebody who has been working quite extensively within the spirit world for a number of years and has gained great clarity or bigger understanding of the self and their spiritual abilities when working for the spirit world. White can also be a tinged white, so sometimes it can also, on a negative side, tell me that I've got somebody who's very confused, or somebody who doesn't exactly know where it is that they want to be within their emotional life. That's not spiritual, that would be as the person that's sitting in front of me. So there are a couple of the hints and tips I would give you for the colour white. Next, I would go to purple. Purple spiritually for me means I've got somebody who's developing their spiritual gifts or abilities, or somebody who's been making great advances in that area or is looking for more knowledge. It can also tell me that that person has been gaining particular knowledge in an area, either through clairvoyance or through their perception of how they see the energy in the spiritual world there. On an emotional level, purple tends to mean that this person's got some fears, or this person is sort of out of touch with their intuition, or they're not completely guiding themselves, they're being guided by somebody else, and is sort of going against their grain, so what they believe and what the other person believes. So there's a little bit of conflictory there. And these are just some of the hints and tips I can give you for the colour purple. Blue for me personally means a person who is a great sort of leader, a great speaker, a great person who understands the power of speech and how that speech can be used in a positive way. That is an emotional side of it, so that's a human side of it. Spiritually, when I say blue, it means that that person has been letting go of certain sort of fears, certain sort of rituals, or certain sort of things that they have implemented within their mediumship, and is now being let go of and is now moving forward in a different direction. Also, blue means to me that person is a very calm person. They are a very tranquil person. They tend to be a person who is very sort of stable in their lifestyle, but not completely stable with who they are within their mediumship. So there's still elements that need to be worked on. Then we go to green. So green for me personally is a healing colour. It's always either spiritually or on a mental sort of emotional level here to the earth plane or with the human. Green for me means that this person is either a healer or has healing qualities in the mediumship or psychic ability. For the person who is the earth person, the green tends to be for me that there's been a lot of healing work done. There's been a lot of traumas that have been looked over. There's been a lot of things that they have accepted within their life, and they are now moving forward in a more positive sort of way. Green also, if it's a bit dull, can mean that they've either got suppressed emotions on the earth world, on the emotional level, or that they haven't quite let go of certain individuals or certain sort of life patterns, behavioural patterns, these types of things. So for me personally, green has a couple of multifaceteds there. Then we move on to yellow. Yellow for me spiritually is a person who is very confident in their mediumship, knows exactly where they are within their levels, within their abilities, and also very confident in them abilities as well. They know who they are as a person emotionally. They're very sort of sound in the skin in which they live in, here to the earth, or emotionally. If I see it a bit dull, or I see it a little bit sort of tinged, or I see a couple of other colours mixed in there, so for example pink or green or blue, it means that this person is either conflictory in which way they're going, or they still need more time to develop their mediumship skills, or they still need more understanding of that particular individual in the skin in which they live in, emotionally here to the earth plane. Orange for me is a colour of fight, or a colour of suppressed sexual emotions, which would be an earth thing or an emotional thing. For me personally, orange has a lot of different tinges to it. It can be bright orange, which means this person is highly active in that particular area, or they have quite a high sex drive, or they are using their sexual ability in a way that would probably not be of the right way, or they're using sex as a weapon and not as a form of love. For the spiritual side, or the emotional, for the mediumship side, sorry, for me, it means that these people are passionate about mediumship. They're passionate about their dreams. They're passionate about where they're going. They're passionate about what they're doing for the spiritual world, but not asking for things back in return. So it means that when they do their particular tasks or skills or their mediumship, they're doing it because they genuinely enjoy it, or they genuinely want to help other people there. Then we look at red. Red is the colour of me of where we need to look at the base chakra. Now the base chakra for me is a really important one, and again, many multifaceteds in here. For me, on an emotional level, when I see it with bits of black in it, I see it with bits of grey in it, or I see that within the auric field, it tells me that this person's highly, highly fearful. There's a lot of anxiety in there. There's a lot of depression in there. For the emotional self, or the person here to the earth plane, there's a lot going on with this person. This person is still carrying a lot of baggage from the past. There's still quite a bit to be discussed, or quite a bit to be looked at as the person. Spiritually, if I see this red sort of within their auric field, it means that they have made some steady progress in the spiritual world, but again, fears and problems are still holding them back. They're not completely listening to the spirit world as well as what red tells me. They are sort of still running on what I call an ego link, or they haven't quite let go of a lot of the ego or the materialistic world, if that makes sense. When I look at somebody with red in their auric field, it could also mean that there's a transition going on within the mediumship. So they're moving from where they were probably doing one thing and they're staying a steady sort of connection over to trying something new, but there's still fears holding that mediumship back, or there's still things that that person needs to let go of in order for that mediumship or that new set of skill set to come in there. A couple of other ones. Pink. Pink for me means that this person is a loving, kind person here to the earth plane, exceptionally giving in every particular area. Sometimes overly, if it's dull pink, they're overly giving or giving too much to people here to the earth plane, which may need to be resolved, or they may need to look at their boundaries. For me, in the spiritual world, it means a great connection to the spirit world. Lots of people put gold and silvers and stuff for connection. Me personally, I go with pink. Pink tends to tell me that this person is quite highly spiritually connected, or is connecting with higher energies or perceptions of higher energies, angels, ascending masters. Excuse me, I've got a terrible chest. Also very tuned with their guides. They're listening to what the spirit world has to say. They're very open to new learning experiences, learning new sort of ways of doing mediumship, or their psychic ability there. Other ones as well that I would look at is black. Black for me personally, a lot of people would say black's a negative colour. I don't personally say black is a negative colour. Black to me is a brand new start. An opportunity to clear the decks spiritually and be able to move forward in order to be able to learn new skill sets there as well. Black can also mean that this person's a little blank, or that they've come to a complete standstill within their mediumship while they address some things either with the self or with the mediumship development there. Also, if I see it within a person here to the earth plane, it tends to give me an indication that there's an illness somewhere, or there's a problem somewhere, or there is a sickness somewhere. I would need to see other colours in order to give me a bigger perspective of where in the particular auric field or the physical body I would need to look for them particular physical elements or the energy breakages. Because if we understand healing or we understand energy, most physical problems that we have, which is shown up within the auric field, is because there's a breakage in the energy, or there's a problem within the emotional field, which is then linking down into a physical problem. Western medicine at the moment is dealing with the symptoms, but isn't dealing with the problem. And spiritual healing, Reiki is sort of filling in them blanks there, because a lot of us seem to don't understand that the emotions in the mind is what will eventually give you a physical problem if we allow this to overrun. But black for me tends to give me an indication there's a physical problem, or there's a physical issue that needs to be addressed. With the other colours added in would give me an indication of what area of the body that I needed to be with there. Turquoise or blue, turquoise is bluey green, so depending on which is more prominent, the blue or the green, I would then be able to indicate which area I need to be with more. But turquoise for me tends to be somebody, for me emotionally, needs more time out, needs more rest, needs more recuperation, needs more time working with themselves or looking at themselves a little bit more. Spiritually, it tends to tell me that this person is just sort of on the new path, or they have started to walk a brand new path. And what it's also telling me is that they're refreshed, or they're feeling in a more confident place within their mediumship, and that they can start on this new path of new development and new learning. White, for me personally, is a colour that I find very, very therapeutic. And when I see it in the spiritual world, it brings me a lot of peace. It brings me a lot of calmness. It tells me that this person is incredibly calm, peaceful, and certainly in a good place within their mediumship also. If it's a bit dull, or it's a bit sort of grey, mixy, or there's other colours mixing in there, again, it would tell me that there's a confusion, or that there needs to be more work done with the self, which is the emotional person. So these are just some of the colours that I see when I'm working or when I'm looking at individuals in the auric field, or if I see a particular medium working a rostrum or whatever it may be there. Remember, these colours may not be exactly how you would have them, but do know that you need to interpret your colour or your idea with that colour. Lots of people see colours in auric fields, yet I've seen absolutely very little out there in the industry explaining what the colours may mean, or how these colours are interpreted, or why people are seeing them. The reason you're seeing them for is normally because you've got healing properties, or you've got a healing element there. Each and every one of us are a healer, just as each and every one of us is a medium. Not everybody is mediumship. There's also a difference there as well. But what I will say is everybody is a healer. Everybody has the ability to heal another person, either through the auric field and seeing the colours, or by your hands, and the fact that your hands may be drawn to a particular area, which is maybe where you'll see the colours, and your hands will want to instantly go there to heal that particular area for that individual there. So this is just sort of a rough guide, hints and tips, sort of from my viewpoint, of what the colours may mean within the auric field when you see them. So I hope it's been beneficial. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do subscribe. I've had loads of new subscribers and watchers, so thank you very much. I'm eternally grateful that you enjoy the channel, and thanks for all the feedback as well. I've had lots of different people, and I need to give a shout out to the people in Northampton who I was down demonstrating for last week, I think, who all have been on the YouTube channel and all have asked me to continue on. So that is what I will do. I wish you the very best of a day. I hope that you enjoy this Monday wherever you are in the world watching, and hopefully I'll see you all very, very soon.